Hello guys, welcome to Breaking Bread. Today I have an interesting concept that I want to talk to you guys about, or maybe we'll just put it out there in the internet space. So what I want to talk about is probability. Okay? So this is the same probability that we've, grew up learning about in elementary school and as a kid, So there's six facts. Six facts that probability needs to have in order for it to be true. The first one is never negative. It never can be or will be negative. So then, if there is no way, so there's six of them. But we might not get into all six because there's an interesting one that I want to talk about. So for rule number 2 and 3, well, let's do 2 and 3, right? 2 and 3. All right, so 2 and 3. The probability can never be negative if there is no way an event can occur probability equals 0. P is probability. All right. And then for number 3, if it's if an event is certain, then the probability is 1. All right. So now these steps or the facts, number 2 and 3, are very important because if there is an impossibility of an event that can occur, then it's 0 automatically. And if it's a certain, it is 1, right? So then that makes room for fact number 3 of probability. Step 3 is, or step 4, sorry, because we did 2 and 3 together. Because I do not want to make long videos on this channel. I only want to make videos that are convenient for the time but like knowledgeable and to get ideas out there. So for step number 4, which is I think the most important that I wanted to discuss with y'all, is for any event in life, right? For any event, or I guess when we talk about probability, we're talking about math problems or what we're going to solve, right? But we're talking about probability and implementing this in life. So for steps number 2 and 3, if there is no way an event can occur, the probability is in fact 0, and if it is a certain, then it is 1. So with those two facts, for number 4, any event in life, probability is greater than or equal to 0, or less than or equal to number 1. Now, how we just described how 0 is for uncertainty, for like a fact, for sure uncertain, and 1 is for certainty. And now this is where, probability, I feel like, is, if we see from the 0, hold on, let me see how I want to do this. So a timeline, right? We have this at 0 and this at 1. These are from 0 to 1, but this is just a high-end number line. Then it would be what? 0.1, 0.2, 0.3. Sorry, that's going to bother me. 0.4, 0.5, all the way to 0.9. And then between these are like, the 0.1, 0.2, and then 2, 1, 2, 3. Sorry, that you're not going to be able to read that, but like obviously these are decimals. But when you get the 0.1, and then you times it by 10, that's when you get the you move the decimal 2 places to the right and you get the 10, and you get that 10%. Sorry, I just spat, but you get that 10% if you know what I mean. So that's pretty much the concept of the, that's the beginning concept of what I'm trying to explain. For steps 5 and 6, adding the probabilities for every event. In the sample space. So if we see the sample space as our life, right? Equal to life in this sample space. If we want to joke around, right? The sum will equal 1. And then for the equation for that, how you do it, right? If you want to calculate it, this is the last fact, by the way. And each fact is a duo. I feel like the first one is it's on its own. Remember, probability can never be negative. And then for steps 2 and 3, for step 2 and 3, it's implementing step 4 for the any event, which is the 0 less than or equal to p, and p is less than or equal to 1. But remember, step 2 is if there's no way an event can occur, the probability is 0. And if it is certain, then the probability is 1. And that's steps 2 and 3. And so this is the equation. P to the square equals 1, and P equals 1 minus P over E. So this is adding the probabilities for every event in the sample space. This equaling life, the sum will equal 1. Probability times the event plus probability times event number 2, and it will equal 1, vice versa. And so if we see this as life, right, the sample space as our life, and if probability can never be negative, right, and so if we see the negative in the sample space as not trying, right, so probability never negative. Never negative. Probability is never negative. And if you add the probabilities for every event in your life, the sum will equal 1 ultimately, right? So if negative in this equation equals not trying, and we get that number line again, right? 0, 1. If you try day 1 and you put day 1, you put 0, 0, 0, 1, right? Well, then you'll be right here, right? You'll get right there on day 1. But say day 7, you're putting 1% actually. Well, then you'll get to the 0.1, right? And as long as you keep trying, you're going to go that way. That's the most important fact. But if you don't even try at all, if you're just succumbing to the negativity, which probability can never be negative, but if you're succumbing to the negativity, you're gonna go like literally off the charts. Like your probability won't be the probability for your life is not going to be your life will not be what's the word I'm looking for? It's not going to be, you won't have a routine. You won't be able to have normality, if you go to the left and go negative, and that's never negative. Probability can never be negative. So if you want to have a higher chance of a higher probable life, or like having a like higher probability of having a good life is what I meant to say, then you have to try, because if you don't, then you just go to the negative, to the left. So, but I hope this concept is interesting to you guys, and if it does interest you, write what interests you in the comments. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to post a new video soon. I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.